Glad to have you join me on Housing Development Program this week. As always, I am your housing diva, Flora Annie. On the program today, we shall be discussing the Nigerian housing and construction sector and the issues militating against it, plus other pressing issues bordering on the mortgage industry as well. But before we begin, as usual, let's bring you up to speed on the happenings in the housing sector.
Sterling Bank PLC has concluded plans to champion a non-interest finance session geared towards real estate development at the 2022 Africa International Housing Show AIHS as part of efforts to ensure housing development in Nigeria, scheduled to hold from the 25th to 28th of July at the International Conference Center, Abuja. The session, which is facilitated to address financial inclusion, most especially for developers and real estate investors, is geared towards creating access to useful and affordable financial products and services that meet their investment needs, transactions, and payments in a responsible and sustainable way, hence boosting housing development in the country. At least 34 international speakers from various parts of the world have been invited to the 16th edition of the event, while over 15 countries and 20,000 participants are anticipated to attend the yearly international event. Sterling Bank will, however, be holding a special session alongside other notable speakers from Egypt, Pakistan, and senior management staff of other banks who are offering non-interest finance in Nigeria. The federal government has urged Nigerians interested in becoming homeowners to register their interest in its portal, the National Housing Program (NHP), as allocation will be on first-come, first-served basis. Minister of Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, said this while presenting keys to beneficiaries who had finished making payments for their homes under Phase 1 of the National Housing Scheme in Abere AIG Zone 11, Oshogbo, Osun State. According to the minister, beneficiaries who declared interest in buying houses under the National Housing Program (NHP) had successfully subscribed through the website, adding that completed payment will be given priority when the sale begins. The World Urban Forum's 11th session, WUF11 in Katowice, Poland, has recently ended with the calls for immediate urban action following a broad consensus established by delegates. 700 speakers from the government, civil society, communities, academia, and the commercial sector were present over the 5 days of debate and discussion, which concluded 400 events. Executive Director of UN Habitat, Maimouna Sharif, while addressing the closing ceremony, said that the climate emergency, pandemics, housing crisis, violence and conflict all converge in cities. According to her, if there must be a transformation to a better urban future, there is need to increasingly deal with urban crisis, as there is no excuse in not being prepared.
That is a news update. For more housing news, visit www.africanhousingnews.com. As part of its commitment towards providing affordable housing for Lagosians, Governor Babajide Sanwo-olu recently commissioned Greater Lagos LBIC Apartments located in Ijayi-Ogba, Lagos State. Our correspondent has more report.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-olu has unveiled and handed over 48 units of Greater Lagos LBIC Apartments in Ogba, Ijayi, Penn Cinema of Agege, saying the project is a testament to his administration's commitment to providing affordable housing for Lagosians. The Greater Lagos LBIC Apartments comprise 2 3-bedroom flats and 4 units of the 4-bedroom maisonette. It is a joint venture arrangement involving Lagos Building Investment Company PLC, LBIC, and RPDC Limited. Governor Sanwo-olu, in fulfillment of his administration's promise during the official commissioning and handover ceremony of the apartments handed over keys to 14 families that were displaced as a result of the construction of the Agege Pen Cinema Bridge with no payment or charges.
The commissioning and handing over of this project are testament to our commitments towards providing affordable housing to the good people of Lagos State. Given the significance of shelter as a basic human need, this administration has been determined from day one to decisively tackle the housing challenges faced by the residents of our state. Board Chairman,
Lagos Building Investment Company, LBIC, Hakeem Oguniran, and the Managing Director of LBIC, Oluwatobiloba Lawal, said Governor Sanwo-olu's commitment in ensuring that the housing deficit in Lagos State is reduced and affordable to Lagosians is praiseworthy.
Beyond reducing the housing deficit in Nigeria, we are particularly gratified that Mr. Governor has enabled us to work with him to settle those who are displaced by the last administration. I'd like to tell you that for us as a board, this narrative is much, much more important, as we have heard from one of the allottees who have come to testify.
The commissioning of the Greater Lagos LBIC Apartment is a testimony of Mr. Governor's commitment to the provision of affordable shelter that could stimulate the economic growth of the state. Hence, the team agenda is working.
One of the beneficiaries therefore commended Governor Sanwo-olu for fulfilling his promise to compensate them and promised that the residents will vote massively to re-elect Governor Sanwo-olu during next year's governorship election.
We are here today to collect the keys to our appointment.
Meanwhile, Governor Sanwo-olu disclosed that since the inception of his administration, it had commissioned not less than 15 affordable and decent housing projects and delivered more than 3,526 housing units across the state, noting that the ongoing land reform was its commitment to addressing the challenge of housing deficits in Lagos State.
A good one there coming from Lagos State. The program is still housing development. There are a couple of reasons why people would rather buy a house than build one. Many people, after making a decision to either build a house or buy from a developer, still wonder if they're making the right decision. On Voices on the Street today, let's sample the opinions of some Nigerians on would you rather buy or build your own house? Let's watch.
Personally, I would have liked to not stretching myself, going to developers to buy straight away to save me the cost of maybe run up and down here. The cost of getting a builder, an engineer, maybe putting all those things will amount to extra cost. But if we have well organized and trusted developers, I think it is personally, I'm speaking from my own personal opinion, that I would prefer to get my money. They show me the property, I buy and pay.
For me, I would prefer building my own because, these developers, most of the time, the price they put in acquiring these houses is really very high, and then you discover that the cost of you giving them this money to get this and all that, it will even warrant you building your own house, and then you still have some money left. So for me, I would prefer building my own.
For my own, I will buy a house. If I say I will buy land now, the buying land needs someone that have money, so that you build your choice. But person like me, that I'm a hustler, at least I'm looking for where to stay, that they will not demolish me tomorrow. So I prefer buying house.
In an ideal situation, I prefer to build by myself to design. But right now in Nigeria here, I think the advantages are there of using a developer, because sometimes the road accesses and sometimes infrastructure. So in Nigeria here, I would prefer to buy from the developers.
I prefer building my house. Why? Because I will build it to my taste. Understand me? There are some things I need in my house that the one I bought does not have.
I would prefer building it my own self, because of this time around you meet developers, they put you in trouble, court cases here and there. So I just prefer buying a land and building a house by myself, and also to have a taste. I get to know or how to put it every bit by bit of how I wanted it.
I prefer building from scratch. Because when you build from scratch, you go for your own design, you get your own architecture, you talk to them, like tell them what you want, and they give you, not like a ready-made house. Sometimes it may not be what you like what you like, but sometimes you don't have any option than to go for it when you see. But when you want to build from the scratch, like your structure, your everything, even the material that you're using and everything.
I used to prefer buying from developers, but I actually got one 2 years ago or so, and it was a disaster. The price they gave me at the initial stage was reviewed later after a year and some months, and I don't think for now I would like to buy from a developer. I think for now I would like to build from scratch. So I'll just buy the land and start developing whatever I want at my own taste.
Voices on the street there. Moving on, the chairman, Board of Trustees, Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Emeka Eze, has advised political aspirants to prioritize provision of affordable housing to the citizens in their agenda to move the country forward. He stated that the security and welfare of the citizens are the objective principle of the government, and therefore the basic needs of all citizens should be on the front burner of any government. Take a listen. The chairman, Board of Trustees, Nigeria Society of Engineers, Engineer Emeka Eze, has advised political aspirants to prioritize provision of affordable housing to citizens in their agenda to move the country forward. Engineer Emeka made this known recently in Abuja in an interview with Housing Development Crew. He stated that the security and welfare of citizens are the objective principle of the government, and therefore the basic needs of all citizens should be on the front burner.
The Constitution has provided reason why government exists, and irrespective of the vehicle you want to use, the objective of government is clearly defined in the Constitution. The security and welfare of people are the objective principle of government. So if you're able to secure the people, provide them welfare. What is welfare? Welfare includes provision of good roads, housing, food, generally all things that make life, it's all encapsulated. Whatever name everybody gives it, it's all a matter of details. So, and I think all politicians are committed to doing that for the country, in one way or the other. I don't think anybody wants to be seen to be a bad leader.
Speaking on the issue of high cost of building materials in the market, Engineer Emeka advised that the country's economic depression should not be seen as a reason to patronize substandard building materials.
All over the world where there is a global depression, housing and construction industry suffer. because the disposable income of people will be low. So it means that constructing new projects will suffer naturally. But that is not a reason for you to sacrifice quality. Not a reason. Instead, you may stop constructing. But nothing gives you reason to say because the price of cement is high, therefore where you're going to use 7 bags of cement to get a cubic of concrete, you use 4 bags. This is invitation to disaster and collapse. So yes, prices are all gone up, no doubt, because of the global depression, but that will not give us reason to use substandard materials.
The problem of housing crisis in Nigeria has over time continued to increase. It is, however, important for government and other relevant stakeholders to look into those structural issues that constrain the delivery of sustainable housing in Nigeria.
What you think, what you wish, what you dream, we can give you home, your office, anywhere.
At Urban Shelter Limited, we are committed to your satisfaction in terms of good housing construction, infrastructure, flexible payment plans, and that's not all. We uphold affordability, reliability, quality, and innovation. Urban Shelter, distinctive homes, prestigious offices.
Engineer Emeka Eze, the Chairman, Board of Trustees, Nigerian Society of Engineers. The Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria has enjoined Nigerians, especially entrepreneurs, to go into real estate business due to its lucrative nature and its contribution to the growth of any nation. This was disclosed by the President of REDAN, Dr. Aliyu Wamako, at the 13th Annual General Meeting of the Association held recently in Enugu State. Our correspondent has more details on this report.
Given the huge housing crisis and shortage the country is facing, with over 20 million housing deficit, the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, REDAN, has said that it will synergize the potentials of the real estate sector through stakeholders' engagement. Speaking at the 13th Annual General Meeting of the association, recently held in Enugu State, Nigeria, with the theme, Enhancing the Real Estate Sector through effective regulation and collaboration, the REDAN president, Dr. Aliyu Wamako, urged citizens to buy into the real estate business.
With all these efforts in place to sanitize and regulate us, I want to use this opportunity to call on other entrepreneurs to embrace real estate development as a profitable venture that provides higher returns on investment, creates jobs, increase capital stock, provides shelter, as well as makes life comfortable for our humanity.
The REDAN boss, however, reiterated the association's efforts to sanitize the real estate sector. He said the association will do all it takes to align the sector with best practices, as they have zero tolerance for illegal deals.
REDAN leadership has zero tolerance for shady deals, and will continue to work with government and her agencies so that the menace of money laundering will be greatly curtailed. We therefore call on our members to carry out their business with utmost diligence and conformity to extant laws.
Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwanyi, who spoke through the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Simon Otuanya, applauds the efforts of REDAN, stating that collaboration and regulation in the real estate sector will contribute to the growth of the society.
Without regulation, without collaboration, the real estate will be a dead end. And that means that society will not be able to grow. Only real estate brings about development.
The immediate past president of REDAN, Reverend Ugochukwu Chime, while delivering his lecture, stated that the association is committed to engaging relevant stakeholders in order to bridge the housing deficit gap.
As of today, it is claimed that we have 20 million housing deficit. As of today, the contribution of the housing sector to our GDP is only 5%. In South Africa, it is 30%. In US and UK, it is 70%. What we are looking at is not about the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria. What we are looking at is about the generality of the ecosystem of real estate, with a view not only to regulate it, but with a view to unleash the potentials of creating employment, of creating dynamic socio-economic improvements on the lives of our people. And that is why regulation is so important. Why is it that REDAN has been championing the issue of regulation? The reason is that within the real estate ecosystem, the developer occupies the place of orchestral director.
Present at the AGM are members, representatives of private and public stakeholders in the housing and financial sector. Highlights of the REDAN 2022 AGM was the presentation of awards to patrons and members for their contribution to the growth of the association.
Welcome back. It is countdown to the 16th Africa International Housing Show, and guess what? The organizers have launched AIHS app called AIHS Connect for seamless connection and participation of both local and international guests. The 16th AIHS will hold from the 25th to the 28th of July 2022 at the International Conference Center, Abuja, Nigeria. Now here is a quick one from AIHS.
The housing show is important to us because the budget market is good for our plaster of Paris and plasterboard market, and for us what the intention of being here is to just expose the company to as many people as we can.
The role it plays for our business and how we've experienced its impact is why we've come again and again and again.
It's an opportunity for us to meet prospective clients and also advise people on housing and tell them about our product.
Oh, it's been a fantastic one so far. This is now our second time here. We were here last year, and every time we come we've seen that there's been value that's been added to our business.
It's an avenue I want everybody that is in the built environment to explore. It is a place you can network, and then you can showcase what you can do.
For us, it was a success. Extremely happy to be here. Extremely happy about the agenda. It's centric on affordable housing.
Brought a lot of exposure to the company. I want to appreciate the Abuja Housing Show and want to tell you guys to continue doing what you're doing.
The good thing is the partnership that the Abuja International Housing Show helps to create. It what makes all of this sensible.
Abuja International Housing Show is a networking event basically for me, where people from different fields in the construction and building industry can come around and meet each other, network.
Events like this will actually go a long way in ensuring that the gap is bridged and that will really go a long way to also help economic development.
Thanks for watching today's episode of Housing Development. Remember, you can always watch Housing Development different episodes on the YouTube channel Housing TV Africa. Keep it at the same time. I remain your housing diva, Flora Annie. See you soon.